Hey everybody, I wanted to talk about this Tylenol and pregnancy debate because this is actually something that I care about because I see a lot of pregnant women in the office and I take care of them and I try and help them feel better. And so I feel like there's a lot of fake information out there and I want to clear up some of that because this recent announcement about Tylenol and pregnancy, a lot of people take that or interpret it as a political stance, and it's really not. Like, this is not a new thing. So let's go through a couple of points here. So number one, we need to talk about causality and what that means. So when people say that Tylenol or acetaminophen causes autism, what does that mean? Does that mean that if you take Tylenol while you're pregnant, your kid will 100% have autism or ADHD or any other form of neurodevelopmental disorder? No, that's not what it means. It doesn't mean 100% of the time this happens. All it means is that there is a strong link, right? A strong correlation. It is a strong contributing factor. When you take X, that you will get Y. And a perfect example of this is smoking, right? We are all aware that smoking causes lung cancer, right? I don't know that there are many people on the planet that would debate that, but does smoking cause lung cancer for everybody? No, it does not. In fact, probably only about 20% of smokers will ever get lung cancer, right? So it's obviously not a one-to-one comparison there. It's not A equals B or A leads to B. There's a lot of other things that contribute to these things. So when people say that acetaminophen during pregnancy causes autism, does that mean that it's a done deal when you pop a Tylenol? No, it does not mean that. Nobody claims that. If you go back and watch that press conference, whatever you want to call it, nobody claimed that during that announcement. So let's just kind of keep our heads level here and think rationally, because causality does not mean that X causes Y in 100% of cases. Point number two is acetaminophen during pregnancy causing autism is just a small piece of the puzzle, right? And we can go and have debates about all the other things too. And I'm sure that those things are being looked at. But this is not, when people say that there's a causal link between acetaminophen during pregnancy and autism, that doesn't mean that that's the whole thing, right? It doesn't mean that that is the only thing that causes that. There are so many other things that are part of that puzzle. And it's really unfair to pretend like this is the one thing that we found. No, there will be many, many things that are coming forward in the coming months and years, I'm sure, that are strong links between what that thing is and autism or ADHD or, learning disabilities and things like that. Point number three is this is not new. A lot of this stuff already has existed for years and years. There are actually old tweets, Tylenol's Twitter account or X account from like 2017. And one of the tweets says, "We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today." So there's that tweet. There's actually a couple other tweets too that are related to this topic. So Tylenol themselves admitted just a few years ago that their products are not intended for use during pregnancy. There's also a systematic review from 2022, and it's called A Systematic Review of the Link Between Autism Spectrum Disorder and Acetaminophen. In that, they state, "We found a wide range of neurodevelopmental outcomes in our data collection. So we included autism spectrum disorders, IQ, ADHD, isolated language, attention and executive function, communication, behavior, and psychomotor development. All studies showed an association between acetaminophen use and listed neurodevelopmental outcomes. Long-term use, increased dose, and frequency were associated with a stronger association." So that is in addition to the most recent study that was released where they say, "We identified 46 studies for inclusion in our analysis. Of these, 27 studies reported positive associations where there are significant links to neurodevelopmental disorders." So 27 studies reported a positive association between acetaminophen and neurodevelopmental disorders. 9 studies showed null associations or no link, and 4 studies indicated negative associations or protective effects. So 27 showed strong links, 9 showed no links, and 4 showed protective effects. Higher quality studies were made more likely to show positive associations. Overall, the majority of the studies reported positive associations of prenatal acetaminophen use with ADHD, autism spectrum disorder, or neurodevelopmental disorders in offspring, with risk of bias and strength of evidence ratings informing the overall synthesis. So what that means is there's a bunch of studies, 27 of them, well, 46 of them total. 27 of them showed a strong association between autism and prenatal acetaminophen use. And it states that the better the quality of the study, the more it shows the link between those two things. So this is not new. This has been known for quite a while because, again, that was just released this year, like a month and a half ago, but it's referencing other studies, right? It's just reviewing other studies that have existed for years. So really the information is not new whatsoever. Point number 4 is that the overall importance of this is its effect on glutathione. Okay, now I'm not going to give you a whole biochemistry lesson because frankly, there's people more qualified than me to do that. But glutathione is very important in our bodies. It's a very strong, powerful antioxidant. It helps us detox different toxins and chemicals in our bodies. And so when you take Tylenol, it depletes glutathione, which if you look into that at all, you'll find a strong link between, toxin exposure or heavy metals or lack of ability to detox and glutathione. And this is where we can get into the MTHFR gene mutation and all sorts of other things. But just know there's a strong link between all of that and autism. Okay. And number 5, if you feel the need to take Tylenol for something like a headache or a muscle ache or a backache or cramps, or a cold or sore throat or even a reaction to a vaccine or pain from arthritis or something, like go get adjustment. Chiropractic adjustments are wonderful for those things. You don't need to rely on medications that have potential harmful side effects. Chiropractic adjustments have basically no negative side effects. As long as you don't get a fractured bone or something like that during your adjustment, which is extremely rare, chiropractic adjustments are just wonderful for all of those things. It really helps the nervous system work. The nervous system controls your whole body, all of your organ functions, all of your muscle contractions, your muscle tension, skin sensitive, like everything in your body is controlled by the nervous system. And so getting adjusted is the most potent and powerful input into the nervous system that you can even have. Okay, so by all means, if you are pregnant and you feel like you need to take Tylenol, please come in and see, or if it's not my office, go to a prenatal chiropractor and see them, because that will be of much more benefit to you and your baby, certainly, than taking Tylenol would be. Okay, so thank you so much for your attention to this. This is a very important conversation to have. I hope we have many more of these in the coming months and years, going over the various things regarding pregnancy and, the spike and all these neurodevelopmental disorders in recent years and decades. There's a lot more to this conversation. I look forward to it.